Forget the polar vortex. As the great Al McGuire would say, nothing but seashells and balloons in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Today, it's game 2 of our triple hitter in the Big East. Big Bad Villanova comes in with a 10-0 record in conference play to meet number 10 Marquette. The Golden Eagles are ready to go, and so are we. As you look at the standings, just when you begin to think that you figured it out, St. John's and Georgetown each lose at home, courtesy Butler and Providence. What will happen to homestanding Marquette today? Hi again, everyone. Tim Brando by my side is Donnie Marshall. We talked with Steve Wojciechowski yesterday. We talked about the culture and the program winning that Villanova can do, and he said, well, we're about to announce that today. I get the feeling this is a cause game. Forget the standings. This is a cause game for Marquette.
Well, listen, the last 5-6 years, we've been indoctrinated into the world of Villanova success, but this season, Timmy, Marquette is built to upend the Wildcats' reign of the Big East.
Hardest working lady I know at Fox. She was all accessing last night. She's with us today, Lisa Byington.
Tim, thanks. You know, Steve Wojciechowski is actually not painting this as a must-win situation for his team. Instead, a chance to improve on that loss against St. John's. He said, look, I understand beating Villanova is important in terms of our opportunity to win a championship, but with a young team, we can't make that the focus. It's got to be details. It's got to be preparation. It's got to be the scouting report. I felt like that was lacking in our loss against St. John's, Tim.
All right, a look at our Jeep Grand Cherokee. Starting lineups, the veteran Phil Booth in the backcourt with Gillespie. Haskell is the leader alongside Bay and Samuels. Marcus Howard is the consensus player of the year candidate out of this league. And of course, he's blessed with Hauser, John, and Sakar Adam. And sartorial splendor as usual, Jay Wright, future Hall of Famer in his 18th year, the 2-time national champion, and Steve Wojciechowski, who confidently believes that his program can mirror that of Villanova's. Our officials for today's game, an outstanding crew: Michael Stevens, Jeffrey Anderson, and Tony Chiazza. Packed house here at the Pfizer Forum, the opening tap to Villanova.
First 5 minutes so important, I think, for the home team. Can they withstand shots like that early? That's what Villanova wants. Keep this crowd out of it as much as possible.
And that actually quicker than usual. Generally speaking, they'll take 20 seconds before they light it up.
It's important for people to know, especially Marquette, that 53% of Villanova shots are from behind the three-point line. You better pay attention out there today.
Joey Hauser up top. Inside John. That pass was intended for John, but Sakar Adam picked it up and put it in for the deuce.
And that's a great heads-up play by the glue guy, Sakar Adam, to just be in the right place at the right time. And hey, you need those plays, especially at home in a game like this.
Marcus would say that was a nice assist.
He meant to do that.
Oh, sure. Samuels had an unbelievable line last week against Georgetown. 3 points, 16 rebounds. There's Booth right where he wants it. Off the heel, long rebound to Sadiq Bey. Haskell loves to go at that baseline. He's cut off by John. That's outstanding scouting report basketball right there.
It's a good matchup, too, because so many games Eric Paschal has had the advantage using his size. It might not be that easy today with Theo John and Morrow.
That lob is picked off by Bay. Booth on the dribble drive is fouled. Let's take a look at our Geico players to watch today, Donnie.
I mean, Phil Booth, the beauty of Phil Booth is that obviously fifth-year senior, but he makes you play at his pace. He's never out of control. He's just got this savvy game to him. And then on the other side, Marcus Howard. I don't know if anyone works harder in America to get their team going, to get themselves going on the offensive end.
Finally getting some accolades nationally as a true college basketball player of the year. It's about time, Marcus Howard. He's gone for 53. He's gone for 48. He is a big-time talent, albeit in a small package.
Yeah, just under 6 feet tall, but I think the importance for Marcus Howard, especially in a game like today, is value the basketball. We know he can score, but you got to take care of that ball and the pressure that comes from Villanova.
And a lot like some of the great guards in college basketball, Donnie, he gets his whenever he wants. Not this time. That runner could not fall, and it's pulled down by Cosby Roundtree.
This is what you got to love about Villanova. On the road, there's yellow and baby blue and dark blue all around in the stands. They're so composed no matter who's on the floor for Nova.
Primo on the floor now for the Wildcats, 24. Another sharpshooter that they line up around the three-point line. Cosby Roundtree. Rejection by John. That's the rim-running eraser on the back end that Marquette hasn't had in past years. They're a much more complete team as a result.
See exactly what Nova wants to do. Just shade him. Let him see two blue uniforms there at all times, Marcus Howard.
Nice dump down to John. Can't get it to go, but the long rebound to Howard. That won't be the last three from him. We're tied at 5.
One of the things I love most about Marcus Howard is when he shoots a three, he doesn't tell the entire building, look what I just did. He's back, ready to play defense, back to business. Don't celebrate one shot, it's a long game.
And he's not a liability on defense either. He's very strong, physically more strong than he would appear on television. Really thick in his upper body. Bang. John the rebound. Hannum. Theo John the rebound out to Hauser.
Can't happen for Nova though. You're dodging some bullets here. It doesn't have to be your man, and I don't care if it's the smallest guy in Phil Booth against Theo John. You got to put a body on a white uniform.
Gillespie hit the first for Villanova. They've now missed their last 4 from the floor. And that's a bump that will go against Joey Hauser. He's first.
Well, this is why Theo John leads the Big East in this category. Weak side, great anticipation, and going to get it before it hits the glass. And then those long threes are there. That's when you have to shoot them. When there's a scrum, you come up with the ball. There's no one in your area defending you. You let that thing go. Too much room for Marcus Howard. It's a layup for him, Timmy.
Primo will trigger it in. Von Quinterly is checked in at guard right before the media timeout, which we're upon on the next dead ball. That one's tapped away. Loose ball last touched by Villanova. They'll have it. Marquette will when we return. Out to a quick start in Milwaukee. Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, your first-round pick for car insurance. Our score here in the early going in the Big East. Marquette and Villanova tied at 5. Dante DiVincenzo, one of the true catalysts in last year's national championship, the most outstanding player in the Final Four. One of 4 to lead the Villanova program after yet another successful championship season. He's standing by with Lisa Byington right now.
Yeah, one of the best moments here for Dante DiVincenzo, who's now in street clothes here as a fan. What's it like watching your team now from this perspective?
I mean, it's a little different, but I saw these guys in the hallway, and it just brought back memories from literally like 7 months ago. So, I mean, it's really cool to see these guys going out here today.
What was your best advice to them when you saw them in the pregame?
Just keep doing what you guys were doing. They started off 10-0 in Big East Conference, so no matter who we lost last year, they're still doing what they need to do.
And I know you've been dealing with some injury. Give the people the latest update on you.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
The latest update on you. I know you've been dealing with some injury.
Yeah, I'm doing better. I should be back within a few weeks. I'm working really hard with our medical staff, and I should be good.
All right, thank you for the time. Always good to see you. Tim?
His team, thank you, Lisa. His team, of course, with the best record in the East of the NBA. And will be playing later tonight here at the Pfizer Forum after making their way back from Dallas.
Having about 16 minutes a game was the big ragu before he got hurt.
Yep.
5 points a game, having a good rookie year.
And a quality example of development at Villanova. Howard with everything but the finish. Gillespie comes out of there with it. Well, Nova's played 8 guys before the first television timeout. So they know this is going to be a long, drawn-out affair today. Gillespie feeds Pascal for 3.
That That's a great challenge by Hauser running out. He knows guys try to run him off the line. He knows he's contested. You got to do it yourself.
Off of the heel, but right on line for Howard. No field goals now for Villanova for the last 4:45. Gillespie hit that first one, and they've been stone cold since.
But you got to keep shooting. I mean, that's shooters shoot, and you know that you learn that from a young age. If you're Howard, you can't get discouraged, especially at home.
Booth works in. I thought that Bailey had a lot of leather. Yes, sir. Michael Stevens sees it the same way. One of our veteran officials today.
I mean, this is just a great job by a very good defensive team. They are first in the Big East when it comes to defensive percentages and at 40%. So Marquette, such a good team at both ends of the floor, showing you right there on defense.
And one of the really influential freshmen, Brendan Bailey, son of Thurl Bailey of Jim Valvano NC State fame in 1983, that run to the national title. How proud he must be of his kid. Howard, count it, oh yes, and one. He'll get to the line. He's so quick with that first step.
And it's hard when you're weak side. He changes direction. This is a tough matchup for Gillespie, and Samuels may not have gotten the heels outside of that lower circle. Take another look here, and maybe he just jumped in, and that's what the officials saw, or Phil Booth, excuse me.
Well, that's the first on Phil. Chartouni, the transfer from Fordham, Joseph Chartouni checks in. He'll generally come in to replace Howard. Now he'll be on the floor with Marcus at the free throw line. So an extra ball handler on the floor for Marquette.
It's nice that Howard can see that go down just to give himself, you miss a couple shots long range. It's nice when the game slows down, you get to an area of the floor, the foul line, where you're shooting over 90%, give you some confidence back.
13 seconds in the game, Gillespie fired a tray, and right now that's the only one made for Villanova. 6 minutes in.
I love this. Show some long arms at the shooters.
Raises the front iron, goes crying again. Howard, crossover. Oh yeah, off the window. He can get them in bunches. Buckets in bunches. A personal 8-0 run for Marcus Howard.
And again, when you look at him, you wouldn't know if he was up 8, down 8, whatever it might be. Just love his composure, Marcus Howard.
Pascal, past Chartouni and pulls up.
That's your strength if you're Eric Pascal. I know you want to shoot some threes. Yes, he has the ability. But when you see a guy running at you, use your size and that athleticism to get to the rim.
That ended a 6-minute, 22-second drop. Howard off the dribble. Pulled down by Pascal. Booth, beautifully done.
Great recognition. Phil Booth, you play at his pace. Chartouni not going to be able to stay with him laterally if there's no help. Phil Booth head down, cup that ball, and finish high.
Howard and Hauser, the only starters on the floor for Marquette. Bailey, oh, a leaner! Beautifully done by the youngster. What a freshman this kid is.
Well, remember, he was away for a couple of seasons on a Mormon mission, and he plays a lot like a kid who just came out of high school, trying to find the confidence, but he's so long and athletic. These are great games to find out who you really are, especially like a kid like Bailey.
Out of Salt Lake City. Pascal brings Hauser out, tried to get past him but couldn't. Clock winding down. That's a violation.
The atmosphere, you can feel it. Feels like a tournament game. These guys know what's on the line. Marcus Howard, the off foot with the right hand. Softly, Eric Pascal. A business decision at the rim. And Phil Booth, I know it feels like he's been here forever, but he knows how to get the job done. Marquette Bailey, the up, the under. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Eastern.
Big East basketball is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Colorful afternoon here in Milwaukee. Our score 12-9. Marquette with the lead. And let's go inside the Marquette huddle with their head coach, Steve Wojciechowski.
Keep playing defense. Keep holding them to one shot. When we slow down into Warriors, keep the ball moving. After ball movement, drive the ball and keep your feet. Drive the ball, keep your feet.
I mean, that's exactly what they do. I mean, that's when they're at their best, Marquette. They put the pressure on you by putting the ball on the floor because they have guys who are capable. But not only that, it's easier for them to get to the basket because they have such great shooters that space the floor. Spacing is such a huge part of what both of these two base their success on.
And on the other side, let's go over to Lisa.
In Jay Wright's huddle, in terms of defending Marcus Howard, he told his guys that out of the 7 shots that he's taken so far, he's only unhappy with a couple of them that they've given up. He said, we will take the step-back threes. We got to find them early in the possession. And he challenged Eric Paschall to drive. He said, when you drive, the utmost respect is the fact that there's going to be 4 guys open when you take that penetration. Tim?
Marquette is currently holding Nova to 33% shooting from downtown, 1 of 5 from beyond the arc. And Marcus Howard, to his credit as he sits now, has 3 field goals, 1 a tray, 1 a short jumper, and another layup. He's getting a brief blow now with 11:34 remaining in the opening half.
And he's all business, Marcus Howard. In practice yesterday, you and I got a chance to watch the entire practice, and there was no smiling. It was, you know, taking accountability. I mean, these guys, it was like a business setting for them. They know how serious this game is, starting with Marcus Howard.
Yeah, they were upset with themselves over losing a second time to St. John's. Even with St. John's' obvious matchup advantages, they didn't like that at all. Theo John again with a rejection. And again, I point to that being the difference in this Marquette team. They've got an eraser in the low block.
And I think if you can do a good enough job as a guard for this Marquette team, you know Theo John is back there waiting to help out. Now, the question for Villanova is, now, where's the guy flashing to the ball once you see Theo John go to help on the shot block?
Biggest improvement in this team, even with all of its offensive capability, is its field goal defense efficiency. It's improved mightily from a year ago. Gillespie comes up dry, and here's Howard.
He doesn't stay on the bench long, does he? Woj does not want Marcus Howard out of the game that long.
Marquette has missed some relatively easy shots, normally the ones they'd make. Otherwise, Villanova would be in more peril than they currently are.
Well, in games like this, you look for contact. You know, the refs also, their juices are flowing. The crowd's into it. You heard some boos because they thought there was some contact. As a player, you got to play through that. Score first.
Villanova's now missed 6 from downtown consecutively. How about that defensive play? But right to Howard. Booth thought he had a save, but it went to the wrong guy. His second triple of the afternoon.
Great opportunity for Marcus Howard to understand the length and the defense of Phil Booth. You got away with one there. But if you keep throwing that ball all over the place late game, it could hurt you.
Booth. Howard comes down with the rebound. Dog, look at Samuels all over the deck. Comes down with it and gets a timeout. Well, actually, Cosby Roundtree with that save. Big time.
Well, Marcus Howard, you know how special he is. 10th all-time so far as a junior in scoring here at Marquette. He's only about 300 points away from being the all-time leading scorer, Jarrell McNeil, that guy. But he's so special because he's not a one-dimensional player on the offensive end. He scores in so many different ways, and he scores in bunches, and that's what keeps the pressure on the defenses.
You know, Cosby Roundtree thought he had gotten the save and the timeout, but the officials ruled him out of bounds before he got the timeout. Therefore, Marquette had possession. Villanova gets it after the turnover.
And I would say that's the issue right there. You saw Marcus Howard again, almost trying to lead his teammate to the basket. You got to take care of the basketball. It's so valuable in a game like this. And you're talking about, you said it, coming off a loss at St. John's makes this game that much bigger.
Yep. And we talked to Jay Wright before the game as Pascal gets that turnaround to go. He knows his team has gotten away with a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly with the clunkers thrown up offensively against Georgetown and against Creighton the other night. So this is the perfect storm, really. Both teams want to prove that they are better than they've shown in the last week. Booth, little stutter step inside, and he'll draw the contact and foul.
Look at Hauser's feet here. Just can't get up off of the ground, and obviously that's a tough guard when you're playing against Eric Pascal because he just has this great elevation and power when he gets up into that jump shot. But you see, very coachable. Jay Wright says, Eric, get to the basket, get to the paint. He does just that.
3 things that you need to know about Phil Booth. Gotta love the peanut butter. Some would say his game is as smooth as a jar of Jiffy.
How do you hate peanut butter?
Come on, Skippy.
Come on, Phil.
Bruno Mars loves the Skippy Jiffy. Why not you?
But I don't disagree with him. The place he wants to live, the West Coast. Weather's very nice out there. All the time.
Joey Hauser. Giving it up to Howard. Tough take for Primo defensively. On the blow-by, teardrop. He knew he liked that matchup. It was going up the moment he saw 24 on him.
Would love for Villanova to put a guy, just make a guy stand there, force Marcus Howard to move that basketball to help out defensively. Tough matchup for Primo.
John the rebound. Not many offensive rebounds for Villanova. Adam Sakan.
How special. Watch the eyes. His eyes light up like asking Brando to go for libations after the game. So excited. And then here's Sakar Adam, the glue guy, knocking it down from the corner. Big East basketball at its best here at Fiserv Forum.
How about some lemonade? Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Our score 20-12 Marquette. And next Saturday, world featherweight champion Leo the Earthquake Santa Cruz puts his belt on the line against Rafael Big Bang Rivera. Live at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Now we take you inside the huddle of Villanova and Jay Wright.
Attitude, man. It's road attitude. Here's what we got to grind.
Let's go. We good.
When Colin got in here that time, that's good, man. Take him to score, right? Take him to score. If you got Howard on you, you could take him to the rim to score.
You know, you're used to hearing a coach like Jay Wright when you see how many threes they take to say, you know what, if you're open, shoot it. But he's telling his guys, he knows how important it is. Make the defense of Marquette move their feet. You got a smaller guy, a slower guy, put it on the floor, and not because you're going to be able to score necessarily, but they're going to collapse. They've done a great job, Marquette, of double teaming and helping. They overhelp. Now you got guys on the perimeter.
And from the Marquette perspective, Lisa?
That's exactly what Wojo was emphasizing in his huddle, is a defensive emphasis. He told his guys, continue to guard, continue to rebound, emphasizing to them no layups. Watch here, they're going to keep a couple guys here in the lane, keep them out of the lane if they can, and force the skip pass, Tim.
Yeah, they don't mind losing to a skip pass. Booth with a ball fake and a beauty. The iron unkind, but Bay gets the follow, count the basket. As it was tipped inside the cylinder by Ed Morrow, who would come into the game for Theo John. An interchangeable part in that low post, really provides the same kind of game, only a little smaller and shorter.
It's a great point by Lisa, too, when you're talking about a defense trying to double or at least show help there. The key is you can't overhelp because Villanova is such a willing, they're a very willing passing to each other. They love to get others involved.
5 total field goals for Howard. Not this time, taken off the deck by Sakar Anum. Wojo really wanted a foul there, didn't get it. Hauser with a straight line drive. It doesn't go. And we got to travel as Cosby Roundtree hit the deck.
See, I like the non-call. I think the officials understand what's going on. You can call every touch foul you want in a game like this. There's a situation where Hauser's supposed to score that ball in a layup. They call a foul, maybe he doesn't get that, maybe they don't get the ball back.
In that loss to St. John's, Howard was 5 of 7 for the entire night. He was 5 of 10 today. Annam, Bailey, Sam Hauser, and Morrow, the 5 on the deck for the Golden Eagles. That teardrop is off the heel. Pulled down by Pascal.
Marcus Howard might have gotten a little contact there down low. Let the official know.
Oh, what a wraparound pass. Samuels did not even look to the hoop. And a reach-in foul is spotted.
I don't have a problem with that. I thought Bailey had his hands on Bay from the point. Bay caught the basketball on that left wing. That call was just a little bit later than I thought, but I think the official giving him a chance. Listen, okay, here's some contact. Now, if you back off, we won't call it, but that's too much.
That's the first on Bailey.
Take a look. That's an easy call, and he kept his hand on him in the paint right there. So that's an easy call for the official. You got to play defense with your feet.
Pascal on the wing drains the tray. Now that's only the second 3 ball of the afternoon for Villanova, and for them to have only hit 2 from 10 and be down by 3, that says a lot.
But they averaged 12 made threes in Big East play per game. They're not going to hold them to 1 or 2 threes in this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, make that 2 of 9 rather than 2 of 10. Inside Morrow. Missed the bunny that time. Bailey! Yes, and 1.
I think what Marquette has shown their coach and the rest of the country is that they're not a one-trick pony. They have some guys who can really help this team. There's Morrow doing a great job getting that ball up on the rim, and then Bailey, the weak side, we've seen Sakar Annam make threes for this team. So they're more than just the 2 Hauser brothers and Howard.
You know, I asked Phil Booth before the game about getting away with poor offensive performances and yet winning, just as we did Jay.
Yep.
And he said, you know, that's a good problem to have. That means we're winning with our defense and with the culture of our program. That's an interesting perspective from a 5-year guy, don't you think? Howard with those open gates. Hello, how do you do?
That's a layup for Marcus Howard. You got to pick him up, find him a foot over half court.
Samuels all over the offensive blast. He's doing a great job on the offensive boards.
This is a layup drill for Marcus Howard. He should not be that wide open. As soon as that ball secured, a blue uniform should be as close as possible to him. In stride, beautiful release, and that is just picture perfect for Marcus Howard.
Booth, a leaner. That's the kind of bucket Samuels will make. Cleaning it up off the rim. Well, you talk about knowing your role. A guy like Samuels and Cosby Roundtree know their roles for Villanova.
And Samuels has passed up a couple of wide open shots I thought he could have taken. He's a terrific shooter as well.
Howard throwing that one up from the hip. Morrow on the glass. We got a tie ball underneath.
Love this about Jermaine Samuels. Look at him. Wide open. That's because of the overhelp we've been talking about, Timmy. Got 2 and 3 white uniforms around Phil Booth. That's easy money for Samuels.
Jermaine, sophomore from Franklin, Massachusetts. Some of his scoring lines are just amazing. You know, a block, 14 minutes, 16 boards in 29 minutes, only 3 points. Howard again, nothing but nylon. Look out, 40 is in play every day with him. He can go for 40 on a normal afternoon.
You just have to assume he's going to shoot the ball when he catches it, especially on out-of-bounds plays. Just make it as difficult as possible for him to see daylight. Not going to stop him.
Nova's got 19. Howard's got 19. Of the 28 belonging to Marquette. Isolated here against Cosby Roundtree. Showtime! Off of the heel that time, and the rebound taken down by Bay. Boy, he's upset with himself. He had a matchup that he liked. Booth.
Oh,
great work. How about that strength?
The left among the trees.
9 in the game for the veteran Phil Booth. There you see the scoring. Villanova up 2 over Marcus Howard. Great basketball instincts for the Hauser brothers. They have yet to really get going offensively. Joey coming up empty that time. The ball was deflected.
You got to get touches though, Timmy.
You do.
That's the one bad part when your stud's got it going. No one else is getting any touches.
Yeah.
You're riding your horse.
Bay with a pull-up. Cosby Roundtree slams it home. A little loose change on the rim.
Yeah, talk about guys knowing their roles. I think one of the most valuable players for Villanova, not Booth, not Pascal, but Demir Cosby Roundtree, because he just does all the dirty work, and you need those guys.
Hauser from deep. Loose ball taken down off the deck by Cremo.
That's what happens. You haven't gotten a touch in a while. You just next one you touch, I don't care where it is, I'm letting this thing go.
Wave it off. Foul spotted on the deck.
Sadiq Bey, mid-range game. Demir Cosby Roundtree, the nice little putback. Battling in the Big East. Gotta love it.
All right, Kevin, thank you. We look forward to hearing you guys at halftime. You look at the top 16, according to the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. This just out today. What say you, old soothsayer of mine?
I don't see Villanova on that list anywhere, but I do see Marquette.
The mock selection. Give me your thoughts, Donnie. You're on the committee. Which one of these 3 would look best to you?
This is that's the one I'm taking right there if I'm on the committee. 14-8, 4, 6 road neutral games.
You like that?
Yeah, Clemson.
Brownell. Yeah, I hear you.
Look at that, 3 quad 1 and 2 wins. Indiana, we know their struggles.
The problem with Indiana is you got to sustain success. You beat Michigan State, then you can't win at home.
How do you back it up?
You lose to Iowa, which, by the way, how good have the Hawkeyes looked since we saw them against Michigan get that victory a little over a week ago.
They got all the parts. They really do.
Graham McCaffrey's got to be happy. Well, Marcus Howard's happy, too. 7 of 15 from the floor for 19. However, the rest of the team, a collective 4 of 13, just 9 points. And as you mentioned, the Hauser brothers not involved.
Yeah, good news, bad news. Good news, your stud is going off, but bad news is other guys aren't getting touches. There's no feel for the Hauser brothers right now in this game.
There's a push that goes against Theo John, the sophomore from Minneapolis. His second foul. That's the 6th team, so they played really well on the defensive end without fouling here in the first half. See some wholesale substitutions. Gillespie checking in for Cremo. Chartuni's also coming to the game for Marquette. Theo John sits down after picking up that second foul. Morrow, number 30 in white, once again down on the low block. So Marquette, a smaller team. After that change. Pascal up against the clock now, checked by Hauser. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. And really well defended. That's a contested shot from Sam Hauser against Pascal. 6-0 run now for Nova.
Pascal does a great job of creating space without pushing off, just enough to elevate. He's so explosive and quick getting off the floor into that J.
Villanova sort of lulls you into playing their way.
Yeah.
Now, Marquette would love to get up and down the floor. Nova won't let them. Howard, a leader in the lane. 21 for him.
And I don't think Jay Wright is upset. I think he says, listen, Marcus Howard's going to have to score 60 on us for them to beat us. If it keeps going like this, just play Villanova basketball.
Well, he induced that foul, didn't he? Nice job. He gets Morrow for the contact and a three-point shooting violation.
Such a great move, an NBA move. Look at that, just enough to create the space right in front of the official. And Hauser's like, what else can I do? And then Marcus Howard, again, looking for contact, but focused first on making the basket. Has to be their priority. Those fouls will come.
There will be a lot of conversation, by the way, about that top 16, not including Villanova. There will be, and there should be.
And I think Jay Wright will use that as motivation for his guys as well.
You know, I know those losses, particularly to Penn and Furman, stand out perhaps as bad losses, but you look at the way they've played and their steady climb, I mean, at this stage, you'd be hard-pressed to tell me that there are 16 teams better than Villanova in college basketball right now. It's a game of evolution.
And listen, Furman's 19-4, 19-5. They're not a terrible team. UPenn's struggling a little bit, but those early games, Jay Wright even said, we're trying to figure out who we are. Yeah. You and I both did those games early on, and they did not have an identity at that point in the season.
Great hustle. But it leads to a foul and a sarcastic round of applause. Bill Booth picks it up, and that is going to upset Jay big time. That means he's got two before the intermission.
Marcus Howard leading the Golden Eagles. What do you want, Lay or Jay? You pick it. He's going to give you everything off the wrong foot, in transition. And his team needs him right now.
And Academic Ambition, sponsored by SoFi. Get your money right. I think one of the reasons why Wojo believes there's a chance he can come back is because of that. Look at that. His favorite class, advertising. He wants to be a trainer. His dad, of course, is that. But he's getting it done in the classroom as well and does not project very high at this stage at the next level.
I would flip those bottom two, Timmy.
Yeah.
Who I want to be, what I want to meet, Bill Gates. Who I want to meet, a trainer.
Yeah.
You got to flip those two answers.
I think that's out of love for his dad, a conditioning coach at Grand Canyon College. He's in elite condition as a result. His dad, a former running back at Indiana.
Boy. Defensively, Villanova they know who they are. I think their defense has come along this season quicker than their offense has. It seems to travel. And in Villanova, we've known them in the past as being a three-point shooting team. Their defense travels.
See the shot clock, game clock differential, 4 seconds. Gillespie will initiate right now. Haskell pulls up. There's Samuels again. Gillespie for three. It goes flying, and we're at the intermission. A lot of emotion. Neither team as effective offensively as I'm sure they'd like, but there's a reason for that.
It's what you thought it would be, though. Teams coming out, they understand who each other are. You know it's going to be a knockdown, drag out.
All right, let's go over to Lisa Byington with Marcus Howard.
Yeah, putting on a show again one more time for us, and you're doing it in a lot of different ways. What has allowed you to find the rhythm today?
My teammates. They put me in great positions. We just got to keep executing, you know, not on the offensive end, but on the defensive end. We got to block guys out, finish possessions with defensive rebounds. We just got to finish this game out strong.
Speaking of your teammates, they have a combined 9 points. How do you balance your production with theirs in the second half?
Yeah, just whatever the game presents itself. You know, if they put two at me, I got to pass the ball to them. They got to make plays. But, you know, I have no doubt that my team's going to do what they're supposed to do in the second half.
Thank you. Tim.
Great in the classroom, Lisa, and a superb basketball IQ. We'll send you to Kevin Burkhardt in L.A. for the Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. Right after this, you're watching College Hoops, and it is on Fox.
At 5.
Hey, it's the legendary Tom Petty. And like him, we're running down the dream. Big East basketball is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Little daydreaming with Timmy B and Donnie Marshall and Lisa Byington. Our score 30-26. Marquette with the lead, but Villanova is right there despite some woeful three-point shooting.
Well, they got it done in the paint, 12 points for them. That's, and the extra effort plays, I think, have really helped Villanova stay in this game. But three-point shooting, what we're known that Villanova is their strength. They've only made 2. Now, I'm not worried for them because these shots are all front end. They've made 2, they average 12 a game. That means they're supposed to make 10, I think, if the numbers work out. We'll see.
Well, take a look now at our Jeep Grand Cherokee first half stats, and the numbers certainly tell the story, and rebounding has been a bit of a wash. But with more on what's happened in the first half, here's Lisa.
Yeah, Jay Wright telling me, actually, I feel pretty good about what we did in the first half, and as crazy as this sounds, I'm okay with Marcus Howard going for 30 as long as we can contain the rest of the team. It's the Hauser brothers that are concerning him the most, maybe going off here in the second half. In terms of the three-point looks, he liked what they got in the first half. Would like to continue to see those obviously go down. That one popped out. Tim.
Yeah, Samuel's a non-shooter taking that three. Booth, by the way, in his last game and a half, a collective 1 out of 12 from downtown. You figure that's going to change soon. There's Theo John and a beautiful dish. Little high-low game coming from Sam Hauser.
And that's how you affect the game. If you're Sam Hauser or Joey Hauser, you can't put all the focus into your scoring. You got to keep pressure defensively on the guys on that perimeter and throw it inside to your big boy.
First bucket for Theo John of the game. Offensive foul. That goes against Pascal, and that's his first.
And this is what we didn't see from Pascal. Just look at the feet. See, I thought he tripped there again. I didn't think his feet were in a great spot, which helped the official make that call. But there was some contact. When you put that shoulder down, it makes it a little bit easy for the official to make that call.
I loved what Marcus Howard told Lisa going into the break at halftime. She asked, to what you do, you attribute your points. He said, my teammates. And then how do you get your teammates involved? He said, well, I've got to just find them.
Yeah.
It's on me. That's an offensive foul against Hauser. His first, and it goes the other way. But he takes ownership and authorship of this program in so many ways. He's one of the true joys of the college game, Donnie, why I love it so much. Bay, count it. He can get going from there. He loves the wing three. His first of the afternoon, and it's 32-29.
Well, you really have 4 three-point shooters on the floor if you're Villanova.
How about that move and a reversal by Sakar Adam. Talk about a quality role player. This young man is that. Out of De La Salle High School, Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's got 7. Pascal off the skip pass up high.
See, that's another one I don't like, though, Timmy. That ball skipped. You have a defender retreating to you, trying to find you. Put it on the floor and get to the rim.
There's the firm. Howard, Hauser to Hauser. Calling Dr. Hauser, calling Dr. Howard.
And the first guy to tell them good job is Marcus Howard. Clapping his hands, telling his guys that's exactly how we're supposed to play.
Beautiful touch passes, too. 36-29, the lead up to 7. Pascal pulls up. Crosby Roundtree with a recycle. Late. Yep.
Missed the moment.
Hauser almost had his pocket picked. In fact, it almost did lead to a turnover. A little fortunate that time.
Yes. Sakar Adam, just a great job. Recognition, no help behind Phil Booth. Got to keep your head up, and then the stop and pop over the smaller Booth. That's how you get going. It doesn't have to be home run plays from behind the three-point line if you're Joey or Sam Hauser.
By the way, is it noticeable as Adam gets involved with that teardrop? They looked at the box score at halftime. John and Sam Hauser both scoreless. Well, not anymore. And now you see Adam get involved, and this crowd is up on its feet. Booth with a quick trigger. Sam Hauser the rebound. Marquette 4 for 4 from the floor this half. Hauser pulls up. Oh, the iron kind. A double-digit lead for the Golden Eagles. Has the only points of this second half so far for Villanova. Haskell on a straight line drive is fouled.
Look at that, the Hauser brothers getting it together. They recognize, that's what Marcus Howard told us. Told Lisa at halftime, listen, my teammates will step up, I'm confident.
Well, they're 5 out of 5 this half.
Joey's still got to get himself going a little bit, but you can't forget about him if you're Villanova, because he has the ability at 10 points a game to hurt you, especially when they're stretching the lead out.
And notably, Marcus Howard now becoming a facilitator rather than a scorer. And as for Eric Paschal, here are 3 things that you need to know about this young man. Hard to believe that his biggest fear would be of heights. I love the Shark Tank thing. That's right in your vein. That's right in your line of thinking, I know.
Yeah. The Odyssey, that's not in my line of thinking. I have a hard time spelling the title of that book. I know I'm not opening it up.
Only 1 out of 2. See if Howard calls his own number this time. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Just a tough matchup when you have a prolific scorer you're trying to defend and he has the ultra green light. I mean, you have to guard him for 28 straight seconds.
Not the numbers you want to see if you're a Villanova fan. In the second half, it's 6-6 for the opposition at home. Perfect from the floor this half. Gillespie pulls up and gets that one to go.
Great read by Paschal there, and Gillespie doing a good job of not standing still, knocking down, I think, the hardest shot in basketball, that 12 to 14 footer along the baseline.
Villanova gets the turnover. Booth pushes it to Gillespie. Paschal trying to keep it alive and does. Gillespie retreats. Ooh, had his pocket picked, but they're going to get the tie ball and the arrow other direction. Jaden Leggett, he felt there had been a foul. Marquette going toe-to-toe with the defending national champion Villanova Wildcats. They're undefeated in the Big East, but outside the NCAA 16. Oh my.
Stay on Fox.
Wednesday, Providence battles number 14, these Villanova Wildcats. Then Georgetown faces off with Seton Hall in a Big East basketball double dip. It all starts at 6:30 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. And here are the stars that will be on display. Boy, Miles Powell needs to step it up for that Seton Hall team that's looking to make an impression. And your thoughts about the second half where Marquette's been so scintillating, and they have been.
You follow your game plan. Marcus Howard can't score 80 points in this game, so someone else has to step up. They start off with John, then Annam, Hauser, Annam again, but it's in the paint. They're plus 12 in the paint. Plus 8 in this half in the paint, and everyone not named Marcus Howard had to step up, and they did.
We welcome you back to our Big East basketball game this afternoon, the second of 3 on Fox, sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a 42-32 game. 4 different Golden Eagles have scored in this half. And yeah, I got to tell you, even after all these years have gone by, I have to stop and think before I say Golden Eagles. They're still the Warriors in my mind. I have to do a double check.
Hating yourself there.
Yeah, I am. Howard giving it up. Great pressure on the ball by Gillespie there. Howard off the pick.
Can't do it. Can't go underneath. It's the wrong guy.
26 now for him. 30 is an afterthought. 40 is very much in his future today.
And we talked about that in the first half. I agree that Jay Wright's okay. Make Marcus Howard get 50. But the rest of the guys, you got to slow down.
Bay, trajectory on that was a little bit more of a line drive variety. Out of bounds, last touch by Morrow.
Let me just take a look now. Phil Booth initially does a good job, but he's going to go under. You just can't do that on Marcus Howard because now you go under. That's too much space you can't contest. That's just a smart offensive basketball player. And Samuels isn't even looking at the basket.
Gillespie, not there. That one goes over the backboard, so it's Marquette basketball. You're right. Samuels not even looking at the rim.
I mean, you only have to guard 4 players. He's done that all game long. Jermaine Samuels is a good shooter. He's got to look at the basket.
Howard rejected by Samuels. That's why he's out there. Things that don't show up necessarily in the box score. Booth. He wanted a foul, didn't get it. Morrow rips it out of there. 10-0 Marquette with points in the paint in this half. Villanova has got to find a way to stretch Marquette out. And right now, Donnie, their shooting woes, which go all the way back to Georgetown last week, have not changed. They are cold from downtown, this Villanova team.
And they don't have the luxury with 13.5 minutes to play to play at that pace that they like to play at, where they move the ball, they get to the third side of the floor by making 5, 6, 7 passes, and then for an open 3. You don't have time for that. Not if Marquette keeps scoring.
A reminder, this is a Villanova team that has yet to lose in Big East Conference play this year. Bailey, not this time, and Primo brings it down. Into the game now for Samuels. Nova 3 out of 20 from 3-point range. Only 12 points in the paint. Gillespie on a dribble drive. Kicks it out to Primo. Morrow the rebound. Hauser hits Annam, the trailer. He's going to put this one up. Bingo! Bango! Bongo! The beat goes on in Milwaukee.
Both teams doing a great job of making that weak link have to score.
It's going up. Morrow on the offensive glass. The scrum ensues, and we've got a tie ball. The arrow to the other direction.
That's what he's in there for, Ed Morrow, to mix it up. Be big down low, but 2 trips ago, Bailey was wide open in the corner. Villanova says, go ahead and make it. At the other end, Cosby Roundtree's got to score down low.
There you see those standings we were touching on. And while Villanova does still have a little running room, this game today is more about the culture that Steve Wojciechowski truly believes he has that can mirror the image of the current national champion Villanova Wildcats.
And it's just not being the little brother to Villanova anymore. You know, getting some confidence in yourself that, okay, it's no longer them holding our head back as we try to swing at them. We can play with them. That's what Marquette has to prove to themselves in this game today.
And Primo, the senior transfer by way of Albany, gets that leaner to fall, and it's 47-35.
Who's it going to be now? And I think Wojo obviously knows a timeout's coming, but who's going to be the guy to score for them?
Hauser. Samuels clears, back in the game for Villanova. Booth bumped. And the foul committed by Matt Helt, the senior, just into the game. Timeout. Marquette Golden Eagles playing like warriors. I would like that. Toy soldiers, right? He used to send them to everybody he loved. Television producers there. Big East basketball is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's 47-35. Marquette. And let's go inside the huddle of the Villanova Wildcats and Jay Wright.
It's a great experience for us, right? It's just got to be every possession. Can't be, you're not going to make it up in one play, so can't get our head down when you miss a shot. Just got to convert, we got to get a stop.
And that, to me, has been the thing that has been the hardest to prove to his team and to remind his team, you're down, you miss a shot, you can't hang your head. Those teams in the past for Jay never did that before.
Here's Lisa.
Yeah, in Wojo's huddle, interesting to me that in the next offensive possession, it looks like Marcus Howard might start the possession, but the focus is on getting Sam Hauser more involved. And Wojo looked right at Sam and he said, I like our energy in this second half, but he pointed at him and says, you have to keep it up, Tim.
Well, he's coming off a 19-point performance, Lisa, 6 out of 16 in that defeat against St. John's. They could have used just a little more from him. Here's Pascal working on Hauser, leans in and uses the glass.
That's a tough matchup for Sam Hauser. I mean, that's a tough matchup really for anybody at that position in the Big East. But the thing that Marquette has going for them, obviously Hauser, but they're winning the paint battle 12-0 in this half alone.
John, speaking of the paint, is fouled. Looks like Sadiq Bey got him with the body.
I mean, this is just great hesitation, but you see the guy staying home on the perimeter. So this is a one-on-one matchup that Sam Hauser's doing his darndest. Pascal's just too strong and too explosive.
Colin Gillespie back on the floor as Samuel sits down. The lead is 10. This is that perfect feeling that you get from a team like Villanova. They're down and they get a timeout. You smell a run from them.
Yeah, you feel Villanova has something coming, right? You just.
By the way, there's some different hairstyles for Theo. You notice the weave is a little different from game to game?
I'm just a little jealous.
A little envious?
But I do.
Yeah.
I see it. Look at that. Got the little checkerboard in there.
Needs to work on that comb over. I can talk to him about that later on.
I don't think he wants to hear from either of us, to be honest. He's doing all right, by the way.
If you got enough to weave, be Booth, little stutter step, looks out wide. Hey, with a teardrop that falls. That jump stop ability, they are so well schooled on that.
Fundamentally sound. I don't know if anyone does it better in America. Just being under control, 2-foot jump stop, but great decision making there by Bey.
That's an offensive foul on Howard.
Great job by Cremo standing in, helping a teammate, but here's what you want. Okay, where's the weak spot? All due respect, Bailey is not Marcus Howard, so Cremo steps in, and then the jump stop. Look at this. Under control, little ball fake, you freeze Theo John, soft little finish for Bey.
I think of all the youngsters that have come into the program for Jay, he's most comfortable coaching Sadiq Bey. He's an old school guy. This is now a 7-0 mini run for Villanova. Booth looking for his first points of this half. He had 10 in the first. See if he launches here. Oh, nice look to Bey on the wing. That's a beautiful find and a three. 47-42. A 10-0 spurt. It was just in the blood of Villanova, wasn't it?
You and I have seen enough Villanova over the years to know better that they weren't going to go away quietly. We got a game, folks. Please, please don't go.
Menu today.
47-42 our score with 9:33 remaining in the half. The last four in, according to our soothsayer, Howie Schwab. Clemson, Indiana, Alabama, Temple. And his first four out, still in the hunt. The Gators, the Cornhuskers, the Rams, and the Dons of San Francisco. And Donnie talking about getting back in. How about Villanova right now?
Well, you just know exactly what Jay Wright is telling them in those timeouts. Stay aggressive, share the basketball. We score inside, it's going to soften up the perimeter. That's just what happened. But on the other side, Timmy, Marcus Howard, the last 503, scoreless. So the run that Villanova went on, I expect to see Marcus Howard making a run of his own.
Yeah. Well, Marquette got out to a very impressive start, and the scorer became a facilitator. And now it's time for him to answer. I'll be curious to see how quick Marcus is calling his own number after this 10-0 spurt from Villanova. And I think we got the answer.
That's all you can do is just make it difficult on him. But if he has a guard on him defensively that he's the same size as, he's going to win that battle.
He has 28, 9 minutes left. A 7-point lead for Marquette. Number 10 with a bullet, and they will ascend if they win today in the polls. Booth and traffic, still scoreless in this half. Hauser clears.
Remember, Theo John, 3 fouls on the bench, so nothing inside.
From the hip, but almost in. Boy, they would have blown the lid off of Pfizer had he made that one.
His last bucket, Gillespie doing a great job. Creates just enough space. He falls away to create a little bit more, and at 5'11", you have to do that. You're not going to elevate over a lot of guys, but as a guy who works on his game religiously on the offensive end, he knows how to put it in the basket.
His step back, Donnie, and his launch off of the step back is maybe the quickest and best I've ever seen. And I think it has to be because of his stature. You know, you got to get great elevation, and he does. Here are 3 things you need to know about Marcus Howard. You can cook minute rice in 58 seconds, really?
I love that. I'd love to see that.
And it's vegetarian the rest of the way, by the way, I'm sure.
He can start his own company, 58-second rice competition.
They're on their feet at the Pfizer Forum. Haskell. Crowd loved the defense, but it does lead to a foul. A little whooping, too, between Pascal and Theo John. Michael Stevens in the mixed.
Great recognition. You know, Theo John has 3. That's a foul on the left arm. I know the crowd doesn't like it. They still don't like it. They're seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah, he got him with the body.
Well, he got the left arm first, but Theo John, listen.
He stood over him. He did stand over him, no doubt about it.
Listen, if you can stand over me all you want because you have 4 fouls and I'm shooting 2 free throws.
That's right. And there's a lot of time left, too. Lots of time.
Stand over me all you want.
And here comes Morrow in,
Pascal.
the 6'7" version of Theo John, forced to check in. But I think, again, it goes back to attitude and culture and toughness. Wojo is okay with that. I think he likes the nastiness coming out in some of his team.
I know he doesn't like Theo John sitting on the bench with 4 fouls and 8.5 minutes to play. I know that much.
17,856, largest crowd in the history of Marquette basketball on hand today. Phantom. He's like a heat-seeking missile for the rim whenever he gets a chance to run that curl.
One of 2 things can happen. You can sulk because you're playing against a guy like Marcus Howard who gets a lot of shots up, or you can take advantage of those double teams, and that's what Adam is doing.
Samuels for 3.
There you go, young fella.
That's what you wanted to see.
All game, that was the first time he's caught the ball from 3 and looked toward the basket first.
Nova is now 4 out of 22 from downtown, but they've made their last 3. Here he goes again. Adam into the middle, gives it up to Hauser.
Don't open your hand.
Shot clock down to 10 for Howard. He's got a mismatch with Pascal and a blow-by. In traffic, knocked away by Booth.
Tried to go to the weak side, and there was help there.
Pascal for 3.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's why you're the defending national champs. It's almost as if this fan base embraced the Villanova run. They want to enjoy it more. There's a steal by Booth. Bay a run out. Fouled by Bay. is on Bailey, his third, but Villanova is pumped. They are a blue blood, and the noses are being bloodied in Milwaukee today. Pascal from deep. The Wildcats are looking to stay undefeated in the Big East.
Insurance.
It's Fox College Hoops, and it's sponsored by the new 2019 Lincoln Nautilus. Our score here in Milwaukee, 53-50. Homestanding Marquette with the lead as you look at our game reset. Possession arrow to the Golden Eagles. Nova on an 18-6 run without a single point by Booth. Now inside the huddle with Wojo.
Strong looks, strong faces. Strong looks, strong faces. Keep your poise, and we gotta play possession game. Regardless of what happens in the second half, we're not defending the three-point line with the urgency we need to.
And believe it or not, the slow start that Nova got off to from behind the arc, they have made one more three than Marquette has. 7 of 25, yes, but Marquette 6 of 15.
As for Jay Wright, here's Lisa Byington.
He's talking about making his ball movement and making it purposeful. He said, guys, we're just kind of moving it around. As we cross the half court, we're skipping the ball with no intention in terms of trying to attack the basket. In that huddle, he challenged Donnie's guy and Jermaine Samuels and said, you got to keep shooting.
Yeah.
He saw what you were seeing, Donnie, and the fact that he's not even looking at the basket here in this game right now. Tim?
Well, you're absolutely
such a
spot
great
on
athlete
there.
and such a good shooter.
Yeah. And by the way, Villanova has made their last 4 trays by 4 different guys. After such a woeful start. Nice slip. Rejected by Samuels. Shot out of a cannon to send that one the other way. 53-52, 6 and change remaining.
That's how you stay on the floor if you're Samuels. Yeah, you can make a shot, but if you defend.
How about that?
Go, young fella.
How about that? Lisa Byington right on the call from his head coach. 55-53. Nova's last lead was 5-2. They're on an 11-0 run. And it all started after the taunting took place and the 4th foul was picked up by Theo John and Pascal was on the deck. Howard with a runner and a foul underneath.
Terrific defense on Marcus Howard. You got 2 blue jerseys there. Harassment is what that is called. And then Samuels with the terrific block, which led him to now a confident jumper. There was no looking away from the rim there. What you need on a stage like this.
Yeah, this is a young man, by the way, that was reported offers from Duke, Kansas, Connecticut, Indiana, and Xavier, among others. The nephew of the former Villanova track star Charlie Steed. And boy, oh boy, has he shown his big ups in the second half here today.
You know, last year he missed a lot of games with a hand injury, so behind on the curve a little bit,
yeah.
but
between he and Booth and Cole Swider this year, they've had tons of hand injuries in the last couple of years. All right, crowd on their feet. We're tied at 55. On Pascal. Well defended. And brother Hauser, Joey, collects the rebound.
And maybe Sam Hauser can get himself going offensively because he's done a good job on the defensive end this half against Pascal.
Howard working on Pascal. That's a mismatch. And it counts. 57-55.
The game is just so easy for him at times.
34 points for the Player of the Year candidate. Samuels after the ball fake, and he's fouled. That's 5. That should do it for Theo John.
Great jab step. See this bigger, slower player go by him, and Howard, we had talked about it. The first 503, no points, 8 in the last 426 because of plays like this. I mean, that's a horse shot. He's right-handed, folks. The underhand scooping, soft left hand off the backboard. Special play of Marcus Howard.
Well, the loss of Theo John is significant. Now, Burrow is outstanding too, but he doesn't offer the rim protection. Morrow does not offer the same kind of rim protection that Theo John might.
He got the best shot blocker in the conference sitting on the bench the last 451. That opens up the lane for Nova. And it also puts more pressure on that back line defensively for Marquette. How long do you stay in the paint when you have to retreat to a three-point shooter?
Well, we've got a long way to go. The intensity in this building is palpable. You can tell how much it means. This is about program culture and an announcement to the rest of the world that Marquette is legit.
Well, if you don't know about Milwaukee, one thing you should know, this is a basketball town.
Oh, yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. At every level.
Every level.
And by the way, in a basketball state as well.
Yes.
At every level. Annam for three. 16 for Sakar, who today Sakud. Booth for three. His first points of this half, and it's a triple.
They never feel the pressure, Villanova. Down, raucous building, they make plays.
Yeah, just like their coach. Cool hand Luke in a nice suit, all dressed up and buttoned up.
And now Marquette just has to withstand it, keep the crowd behind you, make good basketball plays.
Annam, a fadeaway. How about this line? On Sakar, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 6 this half. 3:30 to play. You know what's happening, don't you? You know what's happening, don't you? Timeout! Listen to this crowd.
Intimidati, guys.
All right, Kevin, thank you. What a remarkable day it's been on Fox today. And our second game, 64-59, Marquette with the lead. As you look at our game reset and the possession arrow on a tie ball, and we've had many of them today, we'll go to the Golden Eagles. Foul difficulty. Obviously, Theo John is out of the game. No one else really in foul difficulty other than Bailey with 3. Villanova's in great shape, playing well. And how about the play of the defensive player of the year last season for Marquette, Sakar Annam?
Role players do more than just the dirty work, and Sakar Annam showing his teammates that he can score as well. The junior doing a great job playing alongside of Howard in this half. He and Howard have the last 24 points for Marquette.
There are the players to watch that we pointed out at the top of the show, and man, have they been on pace. Booth, with only 3 in this half, I suspect he'll launch a few more, don't you? The rest of the way.
And I would expect him to get into the teeth of the defense with Theo John out of this game. Paint scoring has to be a premium, or at least paint touches for Villanova.
Haskell dribbled it off his foot.
Just a little too much individual. 1, 2, maybe 3 dribbles for Haskell. But for my taste, I don't want him dribbling the ball 7, 8, 9 times to try to get his own offense.
He's really upset with himself. Gillespie leaves the game. Cosby Roundtree, defensive or offensive substitution into the game for him. Sakar Annam, by the way, has now made his last 7 shots.
Listen, I'm not saying Eric Paschall can't do that, but you take the rest of your team out of rhythm when you dribble that many times when you need a basket.
Howard. Nice passing to Hauser off the front iron, and it's pulled down. Give an assist on that rebound to Phil Booth. Used his body as a shield so Paschall could clear it. Booth for 3. Yeah, I'd say he's going to launch a few more times. 64-61. They're going to count that as a 2 just inside the arc. Just over 2 to play. Number 10, Marquette. Number 14, Villanova. Villanova undefeated in Big East play. Crosby Roundtree will get the foul on the deck prior to the shot.
I know Phil Booth wants another couple of inches with this one, but sometimes you just got to hurry up and get it up when you create that space with 2 guys running at you. Another guy, he's got size, so he can elevate over the top of you, and such a great release point on that jumper.
That was the 16th foul on Villanova, so Marquette will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Howard stepping back again. Off the heel, Samuels the long rebound. That's a big miss. Still a 1-possession game. Booth going crossover. Yeah, he knows it's his time. 64-63.
Beautiful, isn't it?
His 5th year, he's won 2 national titles. He has the last 7 for Villanova, and we've got a timeout with 1:21 to go. Take a breath, we will. How good is this?
College athletics.
Our score 64-63. Marquette leading it by 1. Looking for their 20th win of the year. And a look at our game reset. As we mentioned, Villanova now with 16 fouls. So the next foul will send Marquette to the free throw line for 1 and the bonus.
Marquette has to get there. You know, coming into Big East play, into this game today in Big East play, Villanova has made 136 free throws. Their opponents have attempted less at 131. That's the same in this game. 15 attempts, 10 makes from the foul line for Nova, only 5 of 8 for Marquette.
Hauser trying to post up Booth. Sam's got him. In an ISO. Top shot. Well defended by Booth. 60 seconds left. Villanova down 1. Booth to a wide open Paschall. Off the heel, Samuels, that's a push. And Jay Wright can't believe it. Oh, is he upset? And it is 1-1 on the other end.
Yeah, take a look. Ball's going to go up right in the middle of your screen, right in here.
Crosby Roundtree, they got
Crosby Roundtree underneath. Now, initially, I think Jay thought it was Samuels.
Yeah, I think it was Samuels, actually.
I didn't see a push from that angle.
Yeah, I thought Crosby Roundtree committed more of a foul than Samuels.
I agree.
Upon further review, it would have been more on Crosby Roundtree than on Samuels, and I think that's why Jay has that sarcastic grin. And look who you send to the line.
The wrong guy.
92% at the free throw line. He's just a bucket shy of 40. 66-63. Booth a pull-up.
Wow.
A 1-point game.
Makes you play at his pace. If he's got his mind made up to get somewhere, you are not stopping him. He's getting there.
That was just a rock me to sleep, baby shot.
Now, important, take care of the ball, Marquette. The ball should not leave number 0's hands this entire set.
Shot clock differential, you see. 14 seconds, and look who has the ball. Looking for 40. Knocked away by Bay. Sadiq Bay's got it. And the scrum. Samuels clears. They have a chance to win it on this last possession. How about that? The reigning champs, not in the top 16 according to the NCAA. Really? Really?
Definition of a champion. Definition of a champion. It feels good to be home. Back like we never went. And it's evident greatness starts at home. And MSG is the residence established through time. Only could be defined in the Big East, the place where the champions reside. I'm always a winner. Even if I fall, I can still get bigger. The definition of a champion. Definition of a champion.
The Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
66-65, an improbable turnover by Howard on a hustle play by Sadiq Bey. What are they going to do in this final possession to win it?
First, Timmy, the last thing you want, and we just said that, take care of the ball, but you would never in a million years think that Marcus Howard would have his 5th turnover at that stage of the game. But if you're Nova, the play has to be initiated by Phil Booth, and you're telling the rest of your guys, have your hands ready. We don't need a 3. We need something strong to the basket. If you're open, though, you got to shoot it.
Longest win streak to start a Big East season in the rich history of this league. And Villanova's looking for 11 in a row if they can score on this possession. Phil Booth will initiate. In trouble. Samuels will have to put it up. Marquette wins a signature victory in Milwaukee.
Well, you got the ball to the guy you wanted to get it to in Phil Booth, and I think he was surprised that the defense backed off, had a nice little floater there, was maybe not trying to leave any time on the clock, and Jermaine Samuels just didn't have enough time to recognize. And Marquette, from start to finish, defensively they did a tremendous job, forced Nova into struggling early. They held on down the stretch. This is a signature win for this university and this team this year. And he knows there's still more work to be done, but what a great win for Marquette.
2 years ago in this building, Jay Wright was #1 in the country. Marquette had never in program history, not even when Al McGuire was head coach, had ever beaten a #1 team. That night they pulled off the improbable. That team would later go on to its first NCAA. This team now may be on its way to a deep run. Our final 66-65 for Donnie Marshall and Lisa Byington. Tim Brando saying so long. We'll send you to Kevin Burkhardt in Los Angeles right after this. Our game produced by Steve Shear, directed by Brian Lilly. Goodbye from Milwaukee.